Have you ever had a bad day? Rafael Devers has had 2 bad days versus the Astros pitching. He has faced nothing but fastballs, and he has 5 strikeouts versus the Astros on 33 fastballs. He is not having a very good time in Houston, but you know who is having a good time in Houston? The Houston Astros. And we will talk about this and more on today's Locked On Astros podcast.
It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
It is officially Locked On Astros After Dark or Late Night Edition, whatever we're calling this. And we went to the game, and unfortunately, that's why this is such a late edition, and sorry about that. But this was an exciting game. We had to stay for the entire game, and the offense didn't get going late, but sometimes that's how it's going to be with the Astros. You got to just wait for it, and that's what the Astros did. And Garrett Richards, he was not that great, but he was good enough, and the Astros just kept on running into outs, and it was just kind of one of those games like our old friend Sully with the Locked On MLB podcast would say, and he's one of those guys that knows all the teams. And if you want to have a different look, semi outside of the Astros, you just go listen to the Locked On's MLB podcast with Sully. He is the single best source for the daily baseball talk that's not talking about the Houston Astros. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe to Locked On Astros today. Please, we're trying to get up to 500, then from there get to 1,000, and go subscribe on YouTube. It's very easy to find, Locked On Astros. So my name is Eric Heisman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talkstros. You find the show at Locked On Astros. Brett, where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
I threw myself off because we had the whole late night.
No, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it. Don't apologize. What are we apologizing for a late night? People are up watching us. We got people on here. We actually got to meet one of our longtime listeners who actually recognized you, Eric. Thought that was really cool. So, John Reynolds, if you're listening, thank y'all for supporting the podcast. And if you don't have family and friends that listen to the podcast, share it with them, please.
Yeah, for sure. So today's game, it was one of those games where it was like, I know you had Jose Altuve lead off with that home run. I believe it was his third or fourth. I saw third or fourth. We literally just got home, so we haven't really had a lot of time to do research. I know that I saw one person say it was his third leadoff home run of the season. This guy is going to take over for George Springer. He's going to do a lot more of these over his career. So that was a good start to the game. And he had 3 walks in this game after that. And the Astros, the theme of the day was walk. I mean, the bases loaded. And it just seems like every inning, the Astros had bases loaded. Then you had Kyle Tucker get that double. And it was like him and Hunter Renfroe were like daring each other. Like Kyle Tucker was like, you know what, I'm going to act like I'm going to stop, but then I'm going to continue running third base. And then Hunter Renfroe was like, you know what, I'm going to act like I'm going to lollygag this. But I get what Kyle Tucker was trying to do there. He was trying to lull him to sleep and just kind of catch him sleeping. But that was a bad play. If the Astros would have lost that game, that we would be talking about Kyle Tucker getting thrown out at third base there. But alas, the Astros did win. So let's not focus on that. Kyle Tucker did have another good day. His batting average is up to 250. His OPS is at 798. I'm not going to really dwell on that. Overall, good day. Alvarez was back, and so was Yuli Gurriel. What a good day to be a Houston Astros fan, especially facing one of the best teams in baseball. Good to get some of these big guys back on the offense.
Yeah, it was good. It was great to have Kyle Tucker have his second game where he went 3 for 4, and he's a major contributor to this offense. Again, I'll keep saying it until the cows come home that he has been and is, I believe, going to be our offensive MVP when it's all said and done. Alvarez came in off of the not IL, but day to day, whatever he was on, and he had been kind of slumping as of late. So to see him go 2 for 4 today and not have to hit a home run to contribute, I thought was phenomenal. Base running is something that is somewhat of a suspect when it comes to the glaring needs or the glaring things that this team does lack. And Kyle Tucker, though, just, we were there at the game. At first, he had no inkling to go to third. He literally went to third thinking that he could catch the right fielder off guard, because you could tell the way he looked back and then took off that it was something he thought about mid-run. So it wasn't planned, I don't think, at all. And I think he thought, hey, I'm gonna catch him off guard. And sometimes that works, sometimes it happens. And if you only have the 1 run or the 2 runs, and and it's a 2-1 game, you're gonna be aggressive. I don't necessarily mind stuff like that.
Right.
But we've seen a lot of base running errors. That's something they have to clean up, because in a 7-game series, that's a big deal in the playoffs.
I believe it was Chaz McCormick. He had that sacrifice fly later in the game, but Hunter Renfroe caught it, and he threw a air ball all the way to third base.
Mhm.
That guy's got an arm. So that was pretty ballsy of Tucker to kind of challenge him. So maybe they didn't know that. I don't know. But I don't want to dwell on that. I don't want to really talk about that too much. I know Miles Straw had a hit today, and he had another one that almost was a hit, but he looks like he's swinging the bat a little bit better. I know that Martin Maldonado had 2 walks. The Astros had 8 walks altogether compared to the Red Sox 1 walk. The Astros look like the better team out there. Yes, the Red Sox may have more wins than the Astros. Who cares? But the Astros just look like the better all-around team at the moment.
Right, and it's not about what you've done, it's what you're doing right now. The Astros today, after the win, they are 20-13 against ball clubs that are over 500. Only the Brewers at 17-11 are actually better than the Astros, and so they have the second highest winning percentage against teams that are 500 and above, which is odd, because you would think after being swept by the Rangers, struggling against teams that aren't very good, that they would be in this position. And Eric, we had talked during the game, if the guys beneath Tucker, Maldonado, McCormick, and Miles Straw can get to 250, maybe 230, 250, I mean, that would be huge. That would be a huge thing. If those guys could go 1 for 4 every game, that would be a massive thing. Of course, they're going to need to get more than 1 hit to get their average to that. But at the end of the day, when this offense is contributing, okay, when these pitchers are pitching, and I mean, how about it? Luis Garcia, Jose Urquidy, Zach Greinke, the starting pitchers are giving these relief pitchers a break. Stanek came in my mind, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh crap, Stanek's coming in. But he did great. Rayleigh, dude, like the arc on his slider, I mean, the movement, we could see it from our seats. I was like, holy crap, that ball is moving.
Right.
And I mean, things are clicking, and this is baseball. It's 162 games. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
I kind of teased it at the start of the show, but there was 18 consecutive fastballs today for the Astros against Devers, 33 in a series. He was 0 for 7 so far in the series with 5 strikeouts. He looked lost. He looked like he was throwing stuff all around. He was just like, oh, he just looked like he was like postseason Rafael Devers when he's struggling and everything. So I love it. I'm here for that. Rafael Devers, we don't want this MVP candidate. You just continue being all pissed off and everything. I'm good for that. Let's continue with that, because otherwise you'll be kicking our ass. So let's go and move on from that. So we'll talk a little bit more about the pitching staff in a second. But you know what, Brett? I really want to talk about it seems like the Astros rotation, once it's healthy, is kind of fully loaded. talk to us a little bit about Fully Loaded.
So today's episode is brought to you in part by Fully Loaded Chew. Fully Loaded Chew is tobacco-free, long cut in pouches that give you the same pack, dip, spit, and buzz you're used to, but without tobacco. Available in 9 flavors, Fully Loaded Chew is made of all food-grade ingredients and tobacco-free nicotine, the purest form of nicotine available. So basically what this is it gives you the only moist nicotine pouch on the market. All of the nicotine pouches are dry white pouches. Nothing dips, spits, and packs the fully loaded way that they do. So Fully Loaded Chew is offering Locked On Team listeners a special offer. Right now, you can try a can for just $1. That's right, $1. Only $1. I don't know if you heard me. So go to fullyloadedchew.com. Use a promo code Locked On. Just $1 and free shipping if you use the code Locked On at checkout. If you're looking for an alternative to that nicotine, if you're looking at getting rid of all those dips and stuff that you have, go to fullyloadedchew.com, promo code Locked On. The next time you go for a dip, make it Fully Loaded Chew at fullyloadedchew.com.
Alrighty, it is the Locked On Astros late night edition, and Johnny says that I need to calm down a little bit. I am tired. It's been up since this morning. I had a conference, a workshop today. I've got to go back to the workshop tomorrow. So I'm tired, but I'm excited to be here doing this. So let's kind of talk a little bit about the pitching. Today we had Luis Garcia pitch really great, and after the game, we saw Brent Strom kind of give him a hug after his 7 innings. And this is a guy, once everybody's healthy, when Lance McCullers is ready to return to rotation, this is a guy that everybody says is likely going to go down to AAA. And so after the game, I mean, you have Brent Strom going in there and saying, give him a hug. Then after the game, you have Dusty Baker saying, this guy deserves to be in the big leagues. And
that's huge.
That means something. And that Luis Garcia after the game says, when Dusty Baker says he's proven he belongs in big leagues, he says, it means everything. It gives me the confidence in trying to do the best for a team, just trying to do the work and help the team. So yeah, that if let's just say that I was a substitute teacher and I was being a long-term sub, and that my principal came in and said, Eric, I think you're doing a great job. You should stay a teacher. Right. That as a long-term sub, that would give me confidence, go out there and do the best at my job. And that's what Dusty Baker's doing.
Yeah. So here's the thing, with this performance, he lowered his ERA to 2.72. I don't know if you mentioned that. Did you mention how many innings he's done that over?
No.
56 2/3 innings going into today. And so he basically only 7 American League starters with at least 50 innings have had a lower ERA or are at a lower ERA than he is. And so this guy's doing phenomenal. And like Mr. Munoz mentioned, that he skipped double in AAA. I mean, this guy basically saw high A ball, and then he got called up. I mean, he came up, and I mean,
the Astros were desperate last year. Remember, there was COVID.
Yeah.
We had
no
pitching.
The thing I like about him is he has an unconventional delivery, but he just does his work. I mean, he goes up there and he doesn't look like he's stressed out. And so it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal to see him working hard.
Hey, guys, he is not going to be sent down at this point. If anything, he will be he'll be kind of have the role that Christian Javier has.
Especially after the vote of confidence he got today from Dusty. We know Dusty has his guys, and you want to be one of Dusty's guys. He's old school like that. And
ask Brooks Raley. I know Brooks Raley pitched good today, but ask Brooks Raley. He is Dusty Baker's guy, and if you're in with Baker, you're in for the rest of the season. So here's what Garcia did today: 7 innings, 106 pitches, 68 strikes, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and he just had control throughout the whole game. He gave up the 1 run, but he just looked dominant, and he looked dominant. Yeah.
Same
thing that Urquidy did. This is a dominant offense that the Red Sox have. They have 3 players with OPS above 900, and they just made them look like the Rangers offense.
No, he made him look like the Orioles offense. Because get this, Martinez, Bogarts, Devers,
Yeah.
0 for 12. Did not get a hit today. Those are their big bats. I mean, those are their guys that have performed well all year. 12, 13, 14 home runs, between all of them. And so, each, they've been killing it. And for the Astros to do this in the first 2 games, and I know it was only 5-1 they left. Yes, they were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, but these are 2 convincing wins. The Astros are now 30-24. As it stands right now, they're tied as I talk, but the A's have taken the lead over the Mariners. They're up 8-4. I just looked at it. Yes, Eric, they are up 8-4. Go look at it right now.
It's 10-6, dude.
It's 10-6. Okay, but they're still winning, right?
Yeah, they're still
That's
winning.
my point. Okay, so it's 10-6. It's the end of the 8th inning, so it looks like they will maintain,
right?
I believe, a half-game lead in the division. So we just have to keep winning ball games. That's what happens when we go on these losing streaks.
Right. And I know a lot of Yankees fans are saying that the Astros are doing God's work by beating the Red Sox, but you can't really scoreboard watch too much. We're still in June. Yes, you want to stay within so many games of the division leader. And as long as you are staying within wild card reach, you're going to make the playoffs. So I'm not going to worry as long as we are within striking distance, I'm not going to stress over who's leading the AL West on June 2nd or whatever. So I think as long as we're there, but here's who needs to be really worried: the Yankees. The Yankees are really strong. I know they won today. I think that Clint Frazier had a walk-off home run, but the Red Sox, they have been outscored. You ready for this? 16-3 in this series.
Wow.
And the Red Sox are 32-22, and they still have 2 games to play the Houston Astros. So we've already remember when we were talking to Gabrielle, we said that they're going to split the series. Does that mean that we're going to lose the next 2 games? I don't think so. The way the Astros have been hitting, I know
they could easily win this series. If they win tomorrow, they can get the series win. And
yeah, I know we've struggled with runners in scoring positions, but like I told you on the way home, if you get enough hits, you're eventually gonna score some runs, and that's what the Astros did. Yes, they stranded some runners on base. Yes, how many? They had 9 runners left on base today, and but you eventually get enough runners on base, you're gonna eventually score the runs. But overall, Correa was 0 for 4 today. He did have RBI. Gurriel was 0 for 3. That's fine. McCormick was bumped down in order, and so he went 0 for 2, but he did have a walk and that sacrifice fly.
So you're saying Chazzy Fizz didn't hit because he wasn't hitting second?
Yeah. I mean, if he's doing so well, why you bump him down, Dusty? I don't understand that.
Because you got Gurriel and Alvarez back.
I'm kidding. I'm not
Still don't have Brantley, though.
Yeah, I know. Just imagine how good this team would be with Michael Brantley back in. It's almost like you have all these fantasy players and you just like, oh, where should I put him? It's like you want to have somebody to help you with that. It's like having sports trade.
Yeah, I was going to say sports trade. It's basically where fantasy sports meets the stock market. Their platform allows you to buy and sell shares in your favorite players, just like real stocks. Finally, an exciting, fair way to cash in your knowledge of sports. Making money with sports trade is simple as easy. And it's simple, and as players' values rise and fall based on 2 factors. 1, their statistical performance in each game. Like tonight, if you had Kyle Tucker the last couple nights, you're killing it. The more points scored, the higher the value goes. And 2, good old supply and demand, baby. That's right. The more demand the player has, the higher the value goes. And I promise you, more people each day are wanting to get Kyle Tucker on their team. When you're ready to buy shares, pick the penny stock and the rookie with huge upside like Luis Garcia. Okay, go do that. Or grab the blue chip vet who's always a solid performer like Zach Greinke. Instantly buy and sell as many shares and as many players as you like, just like the stock market. Then watch your players battle as your portfolio value rises. So here's the deal. So what I want you to do, go to sportstrade.com, watch the How It Works video, and then sign up to get started. Sign up today at sportstrade.com and discover the fun, exciting, profitable new world of sports trading. This is truly the evolution of fantasy sports. You'll be amazed. Don't sit on the sidelines any longer. Get in the game at sportstrade.com.
Alrighty, speaking of getting the expert's opinion, what about betonline.ag?
So here's the thing. I'm not the betting expert. I'm not the locked on bets guys like my boy Q, but Bet Online, if you're not Q, then go to Bet Online, the fastest and easiest way to bet on all the sports action. Baseball season's in full swing. NBA playoffs are going. NHL playoffs are going. They're exciting. Go grab the action. Go check it out before the next pitch of the Astros game and their next victory. Go to your laptop or mobile device and check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and contest information. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore, as this is your chance to get into the game as your teams prep for their playoffs runs or are in the playoffs right now. Head to the website and use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus. Use the promo code LOCKEDON. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts.
All right, so what was really good about today's game, I know that you thought he was safe, but Yordan Alvarez, that he was trying to beat out that double play, but he had a sprint speed of, where is it, 29 point?
Yeah,
29.7,
wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's above average. So this dude who's been kind of sitting out with a bad knee is above average sprint speed. So for him to be running this good, that's a good sign that his knee's okay. And he had 2 hits, including that double. He's looking good. So if Alvarez is back healthy, watch out to the rest of the American League.
Yeah, I'm not convinced he was really hurt. Okay,
29.6 feet per second.
I'm not convinced he was hurt. I think the Astros are doing some of this stuff to conserve these guys, to extend them throughout the season because of the way, the knee surgery, resting him. I'm just saying, like this dude's fully loaded, man. He's rip-roaring ready to go. And so I can see them sitting people out here and there to extend, to make sure you're kind of taking care of them. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Johnny asked, does Framber have a little longer leash tomorrow when it comes to the pitch count? I believe he does. Because of the way he pitched. But hey, you've got this Valdez Javier 1-2 punch. I mean, it's like Tyson and Ali in the same ring on the same team. I say, what do you think? Let him go 5.5, let him go to 6 innings, or do you pull him when you did and let Christian Javier come in? What do you think, Eric?
I think I don't think they're going to push him. I think it'll be based on pitch count, and I'm not sure how many. I think last time, I don't remember exactly what the pitch count was.
It was a 45 pitch count, I believe, 45
Okay,
pitches.
so I think they may increase it to 60 if that was the case, 60 to 65. And so I think we'll see him maybe go 5 innings if that's the case. I don't remember exactly how many pitches he threw last time. I thought he threw more than he was supposed to. But I think that you'll see Christian Javier come in and kind of figure out that thing. I think you will see Christian Javier come in. But they're not going to push him because this is only his second big league start of the season. But he did in his last game. Let's go and talk about that while we're here. So Nick Pivetta will be on the mound for the Red Sox. He is 6-0 on the season. He has a 3.86 ERA. He has 59 strikeouts on the season. So in his last 12 starts, he is the Red Sox are 8-0. But sorry, in his last 8 starts from last year. But he's had 2 bad starts in his last couple games. But can you remove that? But in his last 2 starts, he gave up a lot of runs, but he still had 8 and 9 strikeouts in those games. So this guy is a strikeout pitcher, but he can be had. So the Astros can get some runs off of him. but they also can strike out a lot. But the Astros are also a team that doesn't strike out a lot. They're still dead last in the league in strikeouts, and they're probably going to finish the season with the fewest strikeouts. So
No, and that's a good thing.
I think they're going to, against a guy like Pivetta, I think that they're going to excel.
Yeah, and then obviously we have Framber Valdez, who gave up 1 run and 2 hits in 4 innings in his first start of the season versus the Padres. We know he missed the first 2 months, and so 2.25 ERA coming in, only 4 Ks. Obviously, a limited body of work, but
that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I thought he threw more than that. Like you said. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit
40
more.
were strikes. Okay, I didn't know. I could remember. I thought he was on a pitch count. And so I got pitch count and strikes mixed up. Thanks, Johnny. I appreciate you having my back there. But the Red Sox are supposed to come in and be the better team and beat us. I mean, Nick Pivetta is supposed to be the better pitcher and come in and beat us. It's baseball. That's why you play. That's why you put the uniform on. That's why you put the spikes on and you go out there and you get ready to play, because every game could be yours. I mean, the Orioles hadn't won like 1 or 2 games since John Means, and they win a game tonight. So it's anybody's game. Devers could come out and just have a game of his career, but still lose. Hey, this is kind of cool. On June 1st in Astros history, June 1st and 2nd, Glenn Davis had 3 home runs in 1 game against the Giants, Eric. And the Astros actually lost in extra innings, 6-5 to the Giants. Also on June 2nd, the next day, he hit a 4th home run. And that actually to this day is still a record for the Houston Astros. I wanted to kind of pick that up. That was in 1990 where Glenn Davis had those 3 home runs on June 1st. I thought that was kind of cool. So, maybe Devers goes out there and hits 1 or 2 home runs, but they still get beat 6-5. It's anybody's game tomorrow. The way this offense is performing, hey, let's play small ball. Let's get some bunts. Let's steal some bases, not get caught on base. But if you get guys in scoring position, you've got to score them. You can't go 1 for 10 against Pivetta and expect to win.
All right, so go back off of Johnny's message. I think that if he threw 72 pitches last time, I think the goal is for him to throw 80, maybe 85.
There you go.
Next time. So I think they're going to do baby steps. So I think I remember now it was like the goal was for him to throw 65, and he threw a little bit more. I was trying to remember that there was you said 45. That's why I was like, I remember it was a little bit more than what he was.
No, expecting. I was just off.
It's not a big deal. Not a big deal here. So I think that this is going to be another game where it's probably going to be a scoreless game to kind of start. I mean, unless Jose Altuve just hits another leadoff home run or something. But I think that a lot of people want to talk about Kyle Tucker. Yes, I know that you mentioned that it probably doesn't feel good to have 107 mile per hour hit like foul off your shin or your whatever. We didn't see where it was because
I believe it was the inside of his right knee, because he was holding the inside of his right knee after the coaches kind of backed away from him, and that's what he's saying. Fouled it off of his knee. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was a shot, because the ball went pretty far off of his knee too. It went almost all the way to third base. So I'm glad he ended up getting a hit. I'm glad he was fine. So that's good.
Yeah, I was joking with Brett. I'm like, I bet you Tucker said, "Is it okay if I strike out here so I can go sit down and get some ice on this?"
For real, that's gotta, jeez Louise.
Yeah,
that bat speed is unbelievable.
So I think after seeing the Astros, I know that they're still struggling with the runners in scoring position, but they're still getting runners on base. And if they continue to do that, I see no reason why they can't win 3 games in a series. Which game will they lose? I'm not sure. I think
they might sweep them, Eric.
Okay. I want to see it. I want to see it, believe it. The Red Sox are a good team. Yeah, the Red Sox are a good team. Devers and the middle of the lineup, they're eventually going to wake up. I want to wait till they get out of Houston, then they can wake up. I don't know who they're playing next, but do we play them again?
Pretty soon.
Oh yeah, they can wait till we play them again, then they can wake up. How about that?
No, I don't want them to wake up any when we're playing them. I don't want them to wake up at all. Like I
Yeah,
want
that's
them
what I
to,
mean. Wait till
I want
they
them to
play.
be, wait till they play like the Orioles or something to wake up, right? Because I mean,
But
the Yankees love to beat up the Orioles.
I'm Heels says hopefully they can get hits off of him early because if the Astros struggling by the fifth, we can lose. But actually, the Astros have been doing really good recently late. They've been scoring a lot recently late. So we'll see. As long as we don't get to the meat of their bullpen, that's what Gabrielle said when she came on the podcast. She said they don't have the good bridge. They don't have the good bridge relievers, but they have the good back end relievers. So as long as we avoid the back end relievers, the Astros should be good. So here's hoping for a sweep. If we win another game in this series, 3 out of 4, that is great versus one of the best teams in the American League. I will take that any day. Any closing thoughts, Brett?
Well, right now we are 4-3 on this. I actually know we're 5-3 now on this. I think we were 3-3 against the other couple teams, and now we've won against them. So if we walk out of this with, let's say, win, I'm just going to say it. Let's just win the next 2 games. You have a winning homestand against the Padres, the Dodgers, and the Red Sox. That's phenomenal. Even if they split, even if they came away from this 500 at the end of the day, that's still a whole heck of a lot better than what they did against the freaking Rangers and, other teams. So let's keep winning, because after this, we got the Blue Jays in Toronto, and then we're back to Boston in Boston.
I am so sorry, LA fans. If you are listening, LeBron James was not enough for the LA Lakers. Are they done? Get more of the sports news you need in less time with the Locked On Today podcast. Follow the Locked On Today podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts, and tell all your Dodgers fans to make sure you listen to the Locked On Astros podcast, where you can get all your Astros news daily with Brett and Eric Heisman. And that's all we got for today's podcast. And we will check you out tomorrow. And I know Johnny wants me to go to games. So if anybody wants to sponsor a ticket for me to keep the good times rolling, you can reach out to me at Eric Talk Stros. Until tomorrow, that's all we got.